If you do anything outside of the main things that they know that Cleveland is known for, a lot of times you tend to not get as much support as those other careers. It is changed, it has changed over the years, but being that you are an artist that's established and has been doing this for a while, what was it that kept you motivated with this music?
The love of doing it. Simply that, because after a while, just like you said, you put up a post, hey, I got the job, you got 100 likes. You put up another post, I'm starting a business, you get like 6 likes and a couple of comments, you know what I'm saying? So it's like people there applaud you for basically following the basic cookie cutter, yeah, go to college, get a job, blah, blah, blah. They'll stand up and applaud super loud for that. But if you're trying to do something outside of the norm, it's tough to find that support. So if that's what you're doing, you have to love what you're doing. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? Because this is not the place that you're always going to get the love and support that you feel that you deserve as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is you do. You know what I'm saying? I done seen people open restaurants and people rather go to other restaurants. You know what I'm saying? There's already established chain restaurants. You know what I'm saying? But we just have to learn how to support one another. But first and foremost, if you're doing this, you have to love what you're doing, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's going to keep you going is the love. And if you're doing it for the likes and all this and the views, you know what I'm saying, and the money, it's not about the destination. It's more so about the journey. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part people should embrace. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be some dark days. You know what I'm saying? But if you love what you're doing, you'll find a way to be resilient and just to keep going, no matter what the naysayers say.
Absolutely. I think that's what brings a lot of our entertainment community together, and I think that's also what divides our entertainment community, because there's not a lot of support here. Even though we are the city of, rock and roll, we have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We have people like MC Brains, Bone Thugs and Harmony. The list goes on when it comes to artists on the hip-hop side, on the rock side, on the R&B side, Kid Cudi, MGK. We've had a lot of people come out of here and make a name for themselves. But even with that, as an artist, you still tend to find yourself competing with other artists to the point where it's hard to find support, but on the other side, you find a lot of support in artists that feel the way you feel. It's like, hey, we only have ourselves. So a lot of times when you go to these shows, most of the time the people in the audience are other artists supporting other artists, and then they get off stage and now you're their audience. So you said that you have to love it. It's all about the journey and not the destination. So when did you originally find out that this was something that you're passionate about? Because it takes a lot to endure all of that. What was the one thing?
I always felt that, just being creative, period. You know what I'm saying? It's always been in me. You know what I'm saying? And it's just about once you find out when you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all you want to do at that point. I'll be at work and I'll just get anxiety because I want to be creating. You know what I'm saying? Or my job sometimes allow me to be creative, but I want to be creative in another setting, which is home. And I love making music, and I love piecing together garments and just stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? When you know, because at the end of the day, you can't stop thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? You can't stop thinking about beats. You can't stop thinking about songs and melodies. And it's just, it makes it hard to sleep. That's not such a bad thing. You know what I mean? Because some of those ideas come to you at the oddest times. You know what I'm saying? So when you love being creative and that's how you think about it. That's when you know that's your passion, and your passion 9 times out of 10 that's your purpose. You know, once you find your passion, you find your purpose. Because a lot of people they don't know what their passion is. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's about the journey, and you find that the journey. What I was saying for technology, so is when you find your passion, you find your purpose. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically it. And you can't stop thinking about it kind of 24/7, always in your creative mindset. So, and everything around you should be inspiration as a creative person. You know, whether it's good, bad, strategy, comedy, whatever, it should all inspire any artist, no matter what you do, paint, architect.
I can definitely relate to you when it comes to being a creative, and that's definitely something that you cannot turn off. But one of the things I wrote down was when you find your passion, you find your purpose. And that was something that you said, and I really like that because I think a lot of times people still haven't figured out what their purpose is, and they're trying to figure it out. And a lot of times when I go to networking events or when I'm doing with my business, I own 216 B radio station. I also own TET Entertainment. A lot of times when I'm consulting people, one of the main questions that they have is, how do I find my purpose? And it may sound simple, but it's like, what is it that you're passionate about? When you figure out what you're passionate about, something that you're willing to do whether you get paid or not, and you're willing to do it whether you've gotten 8 hours of sleep or 1 hour of sleep or no sleep, that's when you found your purpose. So I really like that you said that. But one thing that I can agree with you as far as being a creative is it's something that you can't turn off. And it doesn't matter what your creative outlet is. It's something that you think about in your sleep when you wake up. No matter what it is that you're doing, your mind is always creating something that is going to push whatever your outlet is forward. So I definitely agree with that. I can see why you're passionate about music. So one of the other things that I noticed about you, which also um, shows an example of how passionate you are about music, a lot of the music that you put out is very lyrical. The visuals, you can tell that you're creative because you just don't throw a video out there. You can tell that you had a video treatment, you put some thought into it, you put thought into your merch, you brought the merch, and I really love all the shirts and things that you put out. And you use your music for, I would say, activism. It's a little bit political as well. And then there's also you talking about your journey as a person through life and all the things that you have experienced. So when it comes to writing your music, I like to ask artists this all the time. Do you write first and then choose a beat, or do you choose the beat and then write?
Well, I do my own production, and I have to be moved by it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, before I even write something, sometimes I'm moved to tears. You know, when those tears come out, it is, you know, when I start, you know, tears on paper, sometimes it's more tears to come. And that's when I know this is real. You know what I'm saying? So once you get that feeling, you have to go with that feeling. And that's what I do. And like I said, everything around me, everything I've been through, the things that I see, watch the news, it's all inspiration and it's information that should be shared. And that's how I choose to express myself and share my experiences and information that I've acquired and try to pass it on. You know? And I've always said, if I can touch one person, I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need a billion streams or whatever. It's just listening to what you just said clearly, I know you get the music. And that's something I appreciate. So to me, that's more valuable than in streams. So that's what I try to do. I try to connect with people that's just like me.
Your phone's frozen again.
It's frozen again.
Yes.
Still froze.
No, now you're not. So you were saying that you like to touch the people with your music, and you can tell that that's important to you, and that's one of the reasons when we played the Alberta track. So for people that are tuned in, if you've never tuned in to Hit or Miss Sundays, we don't listen to the music before we play it live on Facebook. So when the Alberta track came on, the chant and the beat, oh, it just immediately caught our ears. And I am classically trained in music. I don't think a lot of people know that. Like, I actually know how to read music. I played instruments. I was in the orchestra. So when that track first dropped, when the beat first dropped, and I heard the chant and I heard the beat, I was already like, okay, this is a hit. And then when we got into what you were talking about and what the song was about, and you dropped it during the pandemic, that was major. So I can understand and believe when you say that you take things that are going on around you and you put it into the music, because that track definitely, I would say, captured how Black people were feeling in that moment with everything that was going on, not only just the pandemic, but with George Floyd and all the other things that were going on in the news as far as injustices. So that song definitely was needed during that time. So one of the other songs that you sent over was Gabriel, and well, actually, your album is called Gabriel, and the video is Gone Long, and that's off of Colors and Numbers. So let's talk about Gone Long first and the Colors and Numbers EP. So, so talk about Colors and Numbers. So tell everybody what the vision was for that EP and the vision for Gone Long.
The Colors and Numbers album, it was basically, you know, it's hard to put a thumb on it. You know what I'm saying? I just basically wanted to, that was the start of no end, basically. When I dropped that album, I just felt like, okay, it's all gas, no brakes. You know what I'm saying? So that was my main intent with that album, just basically to inspire myself. You know what I'm saying? And everything I felt like I probably could have did 20 years ago or whatever. You know, sometimes we don't put the focus in and we don't put the work in that we need to. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically why I said, okay, this is the start of no end. So that was just inspiration for myself and just to, you know, just putting myself to the test. So, and that kind of coincides with the video too. You know, it's a fight. You know, you gotta really be ready to be 10 toes in the mud for anything that you want. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're doing it not just for your benefit, but for the people that you love. And, you know, like I said, if I could touch one person, then that's what it's about.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, because in the video, you're in a gym, in a boxing ring. So that's what I was saying about the creative aspect, the fact that you literally said, okay, this is a fight. This is what this is all about. And you thought to go into a gym and, you know, get into a boxing ring. And sometimes that's what life feels like. You either win the bout or you lose the bout. But at the end of the day, there's a lesson in all of it. So why did you name that EP Colors and Numbers?
Because Colors and Numbers is sometimes we don't always use words to communicate. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, people will tell you, oh, the color purple represents royalty, or, you know what I'm saying, that type of thing. And sometimes we'll text or we'll make certain emojis using numbers, you know what I'm saying, for people who had pagers back in the day. You know, numbers was a code. You know, if you watch The Wire, you know everything was coded in numbers, and even life is coded in numbers. And some people don't want to accept that, but it's true. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? We're all living on a grid. You know what I'm saying? So that's what colors and numbers is about. It's basically just a different way to communicate.
Absolutely. And that makes sense because we're we are coded by our race and our social security number. And when you fill out any applications, they always ask you, you check off your race and you have to include your social security number or your date of birth. So just you saying that, it's like we really are separated by colors and numbers. And a lot of times people say, oh, I don't see color, but it's like, how could you not see colors? It's everywhere.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's everywhere.
Stop putting it on applications if y'all don't see color. You know what I'm saying? Stop
Exactly.
putting it on these surveys if y'all don't see color.
Exactly. Exactly. And stop describing the suspect on the news by their race if you don't see color. Just tell their gender.
Absolutely, but you know, the media, you know, that's what they do, man. That's why it's
Yeah.
important for us to educate ourselves and do our own research. You know.
Absolutely. So this new project is called Gabriel. So I know that there's an angel Gabriel. There's a lot of meaning behind the name Gabriel. So for you, what does Gabriel mean to you, and why did you title this current project Gabriel?
Well, just like you said, the angel Gabriel is like a messenger. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And he brings the news, and he's letting you know what the Father's plan is. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically why I wanted to name that album Gabriel, because in some sense, you know, on a hip hop level, the stuff I talk about, that's kind of how I feel, you know. And, you know, I was raised in the church, so, you know, I just feel the need to speak to the people. So
Yeah.
I just named the album Gabriel, you know, because if you just open yourself up and use yourself, let God use you as a vessel, you know what I'm saying, and speak from the heart, everybody's a Gabriel. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? If you're
Mhm.
speaking the truth and positivity, you know, everybody's a Gabriel.
Absolutely. I am so happy that I got a chance to sit down with you because I always liked you as far as an artist, but I never got a chance to actually speak to you or talk to you. And doing this interview, I really am getting to know a lot more about you as a person and as an artist. And it's starting to put you on the line of being one of my favorite artists because a lot of the things that you're saying and a lot of the beliefs that you have as far as your message, your creativity, why you do certain things and why you name your projects, like that's the type of artist that I listen to in in my personal time. Everyone has that turn up music, you got to have fun and different things like that. But for me, one of my favorite genres of rap is hip hop, lyrical artists that have something to say, but not just something to say, but they can actually spit. Because there's a lot of artists out here that do talk about a lot of political things. They do talk about a lot of activism and things in the community, but they can't rap. I mean, let's just be honest. They can't rap. You know, if you remember back in the day when Apollo was on, people would come on who couldn't sing and they would sing a gospel song because they knew people wouldn't boo them off the stage. Sometimes I feel like a lot of artists that are activists or about the community, they know that they can't rap. Their friends know that they can't rap, but because they're talking about a positive message, they get a lot of support. And I just, I, I feel some kind of way about that because I feel like if you're going to have a message and you want people to hear it, it has to be dope enough and compete with the Migos, Young Thug, and everybody else. And I'm not saying that they've never made music that have messages, but if your main goal as an artist, as you said, is to be a Gabriel, it has to appeal to enough of the masses in order for your message to be heard. And I feel like you're the type of artist that encompasses all of that. And I feel like I'm going to put you on my favorite artist list, and it's hard to get on there. So this interview has definitely put you on that list for me.
Man, thank God. Feel blessed. I don't even know. So I'm so humble right now. I might cry when this interview is over.
Like
Cause
seriously.
that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? I've listened to a lot of conscious artists. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, if you could just make it a certain way, because you got to get people's attention. You know what I'm saying? You have to get people's attention, and a lot of people, they don't want to be what you call preached to or whatever, but every opportunity I have, man, I just try to give somebody something positive. Sometimes, they don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? They want to hear, let me get a ride to the liquor store. You know what I'm saying? They want
Yes.
to hear that. But, hey, man, I'm honored and super humbled. You know what I'm saying? You and Drastic, you know what I'm saying? Y'all done name me your favorite artist. I'm just like, by the way, I got a collab coming out with him too.
Yes. I've known Drastic for a while. That's a dope collab, and he's always been one of those artists as well that had something to say and stood on having something to say, even when the city was capping and doing everything else. He stood on, this is the type of music that I make, and he also makes great music as well. So that's actually a pretty dope collab. And
good spirited guy too, man.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So going back to something that you said as far as artists that want to be conscious rappers, like I feel like a lot of times that can be said for like gospel as well, because I remember when Kirk Franklin and a few other artists like Kirk Franklin, but I would say Kirk Franklin is one of the people that really opened the door for gospel music to sound secular. And he got a lot of flack for that. But Kirk Franklin's goal was to bring in the world. He's like, if you want the world to be saved, you have to appeal to the world. And that's something that he did and he continues to do. And he's bringing more people into listening to gospel music or inspirational music, if you want to call it that, by appealing to their senses. And I think a lot of times some people can be so conscious and so angry at things that they don't realize that they're pushing their audience away, because like you said, people don't always want to be preached to. That's the reason why it's easier to go to the liquor store on Friday and not church on Sunday, because it's just more fun, so you know what I mean? So you have to think about that balance. And I think that that's something that people don't realize isn't an easy thing to do for everyone, because it's easy to go and make that drive me to the liquor store song, but you really have to put thought into music that has a message and be conscious about what it is that you're saying to people. And once you have that reputation of being that type of artist, you know that all eyes are on you and people are watching you, so that they can say, oh, wait a minute, I thought that you were this type of person. So it involves your whole life. Do you feel like that?
It takes bravery to be honest and make yourself vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people rather make stuff up, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I've written songs, and I have a song on my 842 album, and my sister told me every time she listens to the song, she cries. It's a very personal song. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like those are the stories that really need to be told, because everybody is fighting a battle. You know what I'm saying? If you're struggling, we all struggling. You know what I'm saying? Don't think you by yourself, because the majority is struggling. The majority is working check to check. The majority is worrying about how I'm going to pay this next bill. You know what I'm saying? The rich and elite, that's a small percentage. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to reach them. I'm trying to reach people like me, people that's going to work every day, coming home, looking at that check and feeling like, wow, I know I work harder than this, what these numbers are saying. You know what I'm saying? So those are the people I'm trying to reach. Those real people that, those single mothers that, you see them on the bus with their head down, but they just work an 8, 12, 16-hour shift. You know what I'm saying? Just because daddy wasn't home. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a product of a single mother with two sisters. You know what I'm saying? Well, three sisters, actually. My father had another daughter, but, I mean, you get it, you know, so that's what I feel the need to express, you know, because I know that's the majority, and they need to be talked to, too. They want to have conversations, too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? About real life, not just who they met at the bar last night or, you know, this so-and-so or that so-and-so. You know, let's talk about something real, and let's talk about some solutions. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm. Absolutely. Because the thing about it is that after you're done turning up, after that bottle of liquor is gone, when you come back from the club, there's still reality. There's still bills. You know, the single mom, when she's done kicking it, she's still a single mother who has to, like you said, get on the bus to go to that job that's an hour away, or it takes her an hour because she has to get on the bus, and her job's probably only 30 minutes away, but it's taking her an hour to get there. And then she has to work 8 to 10, 12 hours, and then do another hour back home. And it's a good thing that there are artists like you that gives us an outlet through music and through creativity and through your art. So I really appreciate you for being willing to be that vessel, to be that Gabriel, to give people, like you said, those single moms and hardworking men out there that are taking care of their families, and hardworking moms out there and women that are taking care of their families, and giving them an outlet to just feel like they're not alone and there's someone that understands, because sometimes you do need that music. That's what I love about music. That's what I love about creativity and creative outlets. It gives you a purpose. Even if you don't have a purpose, it gives you something to live through. Everyone has a song for something. When you feel like being sad, you have a sad song. When you feel like being happy, there's a happy song. When you feel like turning up, there's a turn up song. And that's what I love the most about music. So for you, what do you love the most about music?
Basically, it gives everybody a chance to express themselves, no matter what
Mhm.
kind of music you make. You know, trap music, conscious music, folk music, country music. It gives you a chance to express yourself in the way that you want. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And in 2021, it's a great time to be a creative. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many outlets. As long as you do the research, somebody is gonna, you know, somebody's gonna come check it for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's a great time to be a creative, and it's all type of ways that people can express themselves, and that's a beautiful thing because sometimes being able to do that is therapeutic. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? If
Yes.
you can find a way to express yourself, that's like therapy. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, once they find that, you you tend to find those bad days not being so bad. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
guess what? I can express myself. I know it's not that bad. As long as I can express myself, yeah, I can blow off some steam. I can release whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great time right now. It's a great time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm really grateful right now. I feel like in one of my last interviews I said that the pandemic was the best worst thing that happened to us, because one of the things I feel like it came out of it was, like you said, this is the best time for creatives. And I feel like at no other time did people take creatives as serious as they're taking us right now. Like, being a creative is so amazing right now. And someone that is a creative who felt like you were always on the outside trying to explain to people what it meant to be you. I feel like a lot of people get it now, and a lot more people care about what creatives bring to the table, and we're able to almost ask for what we're worth at this point. Just for being ourselves,
Absolutely.
and just for being creative. I do know that there are a lot of black creatives that are fighting right now so that we can be on the a level playing field. We know that as black people and people of color, we have a lot of strides to move towards us being equal in this country when it comes to certain things, and pay is one of them. But even with that, I feel like this is the best time to be a creative, and I'm so grateful for that. So, we're speaking about being a creative. You have your merch, and we talked about your albums. So, anyone that's watching this interview or listening to the audio, where can they, well, first of all, tell them about your merch line, and then let them know how they can support you and purchase a t-shirt and download your albums and watch your videos and follow you on social media.
Well, you can follow me on Instagram. That's basically where I do a lot of my promotion, marketing, and the merch, as well as the music. My YouTube channel, Vic Vegas. Tap in, subscribe, and get all the videos. Merch, you can purchase something. To inbox me, DM me, Facebook, Instagram, Vic Vegas. Just tap in, man. That's all I can say, really.
All right. So tell everybody to tap in. Your Instagram is VicVegas216. You forgot to tell them that. Oh, your phone's frozen now.
We try. We're just out here trying to do what we do, man. And, I got some new stuff coming out. New video I just shot a few days ago. So I have to be on the lookout for that. And a new album. And I'm working on a project with another producer, which I've never done ever in life. So I'm going to be working with OCR Beats. This new 4 songs I have. So be on the lookout for that. I got some things coming. Sooner than later.
Dope. Well, I don't know. Your phone just froze up again. You were talking about, so the name of the new album is going to be called Radiation, and then you're talking about your merch. So you said they can DM you, and you didn't tell them your Instagram. Your Instagram is VicVegas216. And then they can DM you to purchase the merch. Also, there's pictures of your merch on your Instagram page, and it's called 40 Hour Apparel. Am I correct? 40 Hours Apparel.
Right.
Okay. So, say that one more time. So, in wrapping up the interview, we talked about your Colors and Numbers project, the Gone Long video. Your current project is Gabriel, and you also gave us a sneak peek of what you're currently working on, which is your new album, Radiation. And you were saying for the first time ever, you're going to be rapping over someone else's beats and collabing with another producer. So we're definitely looking forward to that. And you also revealed that you and Drastic are working on something as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm pretty sure our audience is looking forward to that, especially those that know who Drastic is and know who some of the OG rappers are from Cleveland. They'll definitely be looking forward to that collaboration. So I really want to thank you so much for sitting down with me virtually this Saturday morning to do this interview. And I'm also really excited that you are our Artist of the Week for the first week of September.
I'm honored and humble. I appreciate everything. I appreciate you guys reaching out. And hey, let's support one another, all black people, black artists, people of color, you know what I'm saying? The ones on the way up, let's push them up. The ones behind us, let's pull them up with us, you know what I'm saying? Because it's power in unity.
Absolutely. I believe in that too. Absolutely. I believe in that as well. That's why the station's motto is we're the voice of the voiceless and the heartbeat of the community. And I made that our motto for a reason, because I just felt like a lot of artists like yourself that make really great music, they're not being tapped on the shoulder by the larger radio stations. So I just felt that there was a need to provide an outlet for artists like you and other artists, even if they make turn up music that is professional. We also give you guys credit for all of your spins if your music is registered. So like you said, we all have to support one another, and it definitely starts in our community, and we have to be the example to show other people how to treat us. A lot of times Black people talk about how we are treated and not making an excuse for people being who they are. But we also have to understand that we have to show other people, and we also have to show our community how we want to be treated. And it starts with the way that we treat each other. So it is about unity, and it is about support. So again, I definitely appreciate you for sitting down with me this Saturday morning. Even through all the technical difficulties, I enjoyed this interview. No.